What's up, man? How you been?
Yeah, it's good, Jason. It's good to see you. Thank you for having me.
So we will have fun on this show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, how you start off at being a stand-up comedian?
That's a good question. I think, to be honest, I'm the youngest of 8 children. My parents had 8 children, and we used to do a lot of yard work. And I'm not really I wasn't really big on doing that. So I try to make all my brothers and sisters laugh. So if they were laughing, they were distracting, not even realizing, hey, this person's not even working. Like, how come he's not doing any of the chores? So by distracting them, at the end of the day, uh, everybody did the yard work and everything, but I got away with not doing it because I was able to make them laugh and distract them. So I thought that that's kind of true. It really is. I just, but my father was very, very funny. My whole family, really, my mother had a great sense of humor. I just got a lot of it from them. And but that was part of the reason too, because if I distracted my family and they laughed, I got out of doing some of the chores when I was younger. So, but I shouldn't have done that. But
Hey, that had a good reason not to do the chores.
wait a minute, rake the lawn. Hey, here's a joke for you, and then they start laughing, and they go, hey, that's funny. That's funny. And so like,
So, and also, what is your biggest differences in, but in, being in comedy?
who's my biggest influence? You said? Yeah. My father is truly is really one of my favorites. He's just so funny, so quick. He really was, and he did voices and impressions and like dialect stuff like that. So I get that from my father. But some of the comedians I like today are like, Brian Regan I'm a really big fan of Brian Regan. I really love his stand up, and there's so many great comics out there. But as an impressionist, I also like Danny Gans. He performed in Las Vegas, and but one of my favorites of all time, he's actually like a character actor. He was started out on David Letterman. Is Chris Elliott, and he used to have a show called Get a Life where he was like a 30-year-old paperboy. And he's really probably the guy who I really just if I could, I would just love to meet Chris. He's been a big influence for me. But I also like David Letterman, John Carson.
Right. Say, say, what is your first person if you know how you do the voices?
Oh yeah. Oh, the first. That's a good. Yeah, that's a great question. I think it was Johnny Carson. I know you're probably way too young to know who Johnny Carson is, but you know Jimmy
I know
Fallon.
what Johnny Carson is.
You know who Johnny Carson is? I know, like Jimmy Fallon. So Johnny Carson was on for 30 years
Right.
before Jay Leno and then Jimmy Fallon. But Johnny Carson would be just like, Johnny would be like, um, okay, I'm Johnny Carson. We got a great show tonight. Great show tonight. Hey, did you hear about this? Superstar tennis player Serena Williams just had a baby girl, and she's named Annette. Annette, tennis player. Okay. That's what I loved about Johnny. He would just keep saying okay after his jokes. He named her Annette. It's tennis. So I would just do that, or just like something like that to distract my family or my friends, and they would. Yeah, my father was great with that. But I got into doing some other actors, but so a little bit of politics. I can do some, but mostly actors and things like that. Other comedians. Do you know Gilbert Gottfried? Have you heard of Gilbert Gottfried?
Yes.
Yeah, he played he plays like on I think it was a Disney movie Aladdin. He played some of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would talk like this. Okay, I'm Gilbert Gottfried, and that's what I do. I like that's how he would talk. So
Wow. Definitely. Oh man. Uh, and also, I think when the first time that you step on stage.
um, that's a good question. My family was very nice to me, a little bit too nice, because when I was very young, like when my sisters got married at the wedding reception, they allowed me to do some stand up when I was only like 11 or 12 years old, maybe 13, 14. So I was doing like comedy at the wedding reception. I wasn't funny at all. Like, just like now, but
Yeah.
nothing's changed except my age, really. But no, I just was very, very starting out and very, but they were kind enough to allow me to do that. But over time, I enjoyed doing comedy and tried to make people laugh. But I was so like I was not seasoned. I was so young. I was just not even. But over time, I started taking classes and started to learning about stage presence, how to write a joke, and then so that really helped me to do that. But that's a great question. So, but I was very very young when I did it, like about 13 or 14. But I stopped for a while, like about maybe from 14 to 22, 23. But then I started kind of getting into it after that.
That's good. That's good. Uh, what praise you got your first open mic night as a comedian?
Oh, I do remember it very well. It was a place. It's not there anymore. Maybe that's part of. Maybe I did that. Maybe I closed them down after my act. Um, but it was no, I think it was actually a place in Ridgewood called Chester Draws. Chester Draws. But I think it's still there actually. But I mean, I think it's a different name, different owner. But it was there. It was there, and that had to have been like 30 years ago. Like when I was like 25 or so. When I started to get back into comedy after I was very young, doing the wedding receptions of my family. So, but that was and it's enjoyable. Like, but I said, as much as I enjoy doing this, I need a lot of structure. I need to learn how to do stage presence. I mean, how to have stage presence, like how to write better. So I started taking classes. And that's when I.
Um, um, who is a one who I say who trained you to be better?
Oh, um, well, in um, one of my favorite teachers, she's very very funny. She's really really funny, very talented. Her name is Bernice Harris. But I actually a long time ago, maybe it's about 20, 22 years ago now. So I went to an adult school for improv class, like an adult improv class. I've been taking it ever since. So she's been helpful with that, like, how to work with other people, like work in a group setting for comedy. But for stand-up comedy was Mike Irwin, who sadly he passed away, but he was very nice and very helpful. He was one of my first stand-up comics. But Bobby Gonzo and Bernice are a big influence for me. They gave me a lot of opportunities. They're great teachers, so I owe so much to them.
Right, right. Um, um, you haven't opened with somebody famous?
I got a chance to work with some famous people. I did. This was it was a guy named Kevin Meaney who he sadly he passed away, but he was very funny. He was on the Tonight Show. He had his own TV show, like Uncle Buck, and he's very nice to me. He's very good guy. He's always that was a great opportunity to work with him. Um, Joe Piscopo from Saturday Night Live. He used to be he was on the same year as Eddie Murphy, um, and so that was a good opportunity. And I actually didn't work per se with this person, but I did an open mic night in New York City, and at the end of the show, somebody came in and it was Tracy Morgan. So like I got a chance to shake his hand. He was very nice, but I didn't really do the show with him. Like it was an open mic, but he came in and he wanted to do some time. So I did share the same stage with him that night, but it really wasn't.
Man, how do you say Tracy Morgan? That blew my mind.
Yeah, he's awesome. Like he was, and it was like, wow, that's just awesome. But that happens sometimes because some people say that in New York City, uh, you know, before all, what's going on with the virus and all. But they said that sometimes you do a show and out of nowhere, like Jerry Seinfeld comes on and wants to try out some new material, or Chris Rock. So sometimes they just make it a guest appearance trying to work out some of the material. So it's exciting for like, people like me who's like just like, like an amateur type, just like excited to see, some of these big names and professionals. So it's good.
And how long have you been doing comedy for?
Um, I don't know if my audiences would call it comedy, but but I started with Bernice in 1998. So that was the improv class. And then I think in 1999 or 2000 is when I went to stand up. So like probably about 20 years roughly for stand up and 20 years for improv. Like, you know, um, so it's been a lot of fun. Like classes have been very helpful. I mean, I've had other teachers too, like Carrie Louise, who's very, very funny. I've had other teachers too that have helped me. Um, but a lot of my classmates are very funny too. I learn from them too. The people I take classes with, I learn from them too. It's just it's been fun. It's nerve wracking a little bit because you're up there, like you're up there and like a joke may go over and it's very
Yeah.
like so nice to see people smile, but then you're nervous about, well, what about the next joke? You know what I mean? So it's like almost like joke to joke, but you got to have that confidence that if the joke doesn't go over, you still got to believe that you're funny. I think that's the main thing is you got to have confidence. Of course, material is important, but you got to believe that you're funny. Like, because if you don't believe you're funny, it's just gonna. Uh, but like I do impressions a lot. I stand out in terms of that, not in terms of quality of material. The other people are great in what they do, but like being an impressionist, I'm able to kind of fall back on voices that kind of makes me like stand out a little bit, which is helpful. Like I feel bad for the other people because they're all very funny, but like as an impressionist, you're able to go back and fall back on that. So people, like I do, like Sylvester Stallone or Denzel Washington, Chris Tucker. If a joke doesn't go over, I'll be able to like, come on, man, come on, that was funny, man, come on, what are you doing? Like that, and and that will kind of, you know, or if I do Johnny Carson, because Johnny, whenever a joke didn't work, Johnny would just go, okay. He would just kind of, so it's easy. It's a little. That's what I meant in terms of standing out, in terms of
Yeah.
not quality over the other comics. It's just that I can stand out that way where I can rely on a voice to fall back on when my jokes don't work. Or like Rodney Dangerfield. Like if a joke doesn't work, where we go, hey, tough crowd, all right, you're right, tough crowd. But like, so that made it a little bit more simple for me. But I do impressions most of the time anyway, so I don't feel like I'm cheating, but because as an impressionist, that's what you do. But like sometimes yeah, it's not. I don't know. I feel like it's just maybe like it gives me a chance to kind of, because I do get nervous on stage. Going to a different voice as an impressionist makes it a little bit more easier or comfortable for me to relate.
And you say you do the voices, right? Um, how about you uh, pick three of your favorite people you love to do the voice to?
Oh, so pick three?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, my favorite actor, I think, of all time is I love Sylvester Stallone. Like he's Clint Eastwood, um, Denzel Washington. Those are probably my three favorite actors. Those three, and but one of my, so maybe I'll just do those guys. But one of my favorite, yeah, I'll try to do Sylvester, quick Sylvester Stallone,
Uh,
Denzel Washington.
you take your you can take your time doing it, right? This time, what about you?
Oh, okay, all right. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Okay.
But before I get into those guys, like those are probably my three favorite. But have you ever watched Seinfeld?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So my favorite, I love Kramer, but George Costanza is my favorite. Like I just love the character, and I just like I could watch him like every night just watching George. But George is one of my favorite characters also to do. He's like, oh, George is getting angry. You wouldn't like George when he's angry. Am I right, Jerry? Like he has that voice that he does. It's like he's always. Uh, so he's probably one of my favorite voices to do. But my favorite actors, I think, are Clint Eastwood. So Clint, I like about Clint is just very. Sometimes you don't even have to do the voice; you just do the face with like Clint. Like Clint, go like and I Clint is like I feel bad. There's because Clint's 90 years old and he's still one of my favorites. But his big line was "Go ahead, and make my day." So they're doing a sequel to Sudden Impact, but at 90 years old, it's a little different. Clint's like, "Go ahead. Wait a minute, what day is today?" So a little different now that he's 90. But I'm a big fan of Clint, so I do like him. Denzel Washington, I love. Denzel is just probably my favorite because he's so passionate and he's so good. Like, okay, okay, all right, Jason, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me, Jason. It's good to be here. I don't mind. This is my training day for you. Interview. It's my first interview. I'm training. Big fan of yours, Jason. I'm a big fan of your channel. I'm a big fan of your channel, Jason. Hey, people, I mean, to share this channel. Watch this guy. He's big. He's in the future. And Sylvester Stallone was just like, hey, yo, hey, yo, how you doing? How you doing, Jason? How you doing? All right? Yeah, absolutely. That's so those are just my three favorite guys. I'm still young. I'm still I'm not young. I, I'm not young. What is he talking about? He's making no sense. What I meant to say was like I'm still young in terms of learning. I have so much to learn, so I got to work on my voices. Yo, how you doing? Like I gotta get them deeper, work on them. Like so, it's like I spend a lot of time, trying to work on the voices, like trying to get the joke down, plus the voice, the mannerisms, like things. It takes a while, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So thank you. Yeah, it's good.
Hey, Johnny. That was funny. Oh, that just made my day.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
no problem. What is your favorite praise you like to perform?
Um, uh, I was only um, That's a great question. I was very fortunate in the sense of like, it was like 2 or 3 times where I performed for a lot of people. And like, that was just, like, it was rare, but it was just nice opportunity. It was like 1,000 people there. And I was really nervous. And there was another time that I performed for like 400 or something like that. So those were as fun as they are. Um, I'm sorry, I'm taking a while to answer your question. But what I'm trying to say is what I really like really are the rooms that are very, like, smaller, like more intimate, that only have like, 25, 30 people. Like, I feel sometimes like, so those are I don't know if I answered your question specifically, but what kind of venue do I really prefer? It's kind of like a smaller crowd, like 30 people, 35, 40, even like 50 or 60, that's fine. But I mean, when I did shows like 1,000 people or 400, which was just because I was very fortunate to get an opportunity to do that. I mean, people were kind enough to give me that break or that opportunity. Like, other comics were much more deserving than I was to be there. But it was just, I kind of get nervous when it's too many people. I feel like it's not like this. I don't know if my sound is going out to the back of the room. I don't know if it's like, I like it when it's more, you can have that smaller. You can see the people's faces and they can see yours. And
Um, I. Hmm. What is a three people you like, you wish you can open up to?
oh, that's something I think about sometimes. But like, I think um, Brian Regan, I think, is just like a brilliant comic. And uh, like, I was gonna say maybe too, Frank Caliendo, who I like very much. You know, I think he's just an awesome impressionist. Frank Caliendo, Brian Regan, and uh, uh, Jason, some guy named Jason. He's very funny too. You're very quick. You're funny. Uh, let's see.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you are. I'm telling you, you're. So yeah, those three. Well, I apologize, not to say that the other people are not funny. They really are. So many great comics out there. But I mean, some of the people who would have, like, I mean, I love, like, oh, like Eddie Murphy. I'm a
Oh,
big I'm a big fan of Eddie Murphy. I like I got like, do you watch? I'm very spiritual. I'm a Catholic Christian, and I just love watching religious movies. But they're doing, like, with Hollywood, they're always making remakes. So they're doing a new movie called The Greatest Story Ever Told. It's about Jesus. The scene is set like Jesus is on the donkey, but it's not just any donkey. It's the donkey from Shrek. This is Hollywood. So,
yeah.
oh, step aside, everybody, step aside. Messiah coming through. Oh, son of God on my shoulder. Ooh. Like, I just like it. Oh, I like him. Oh, that's a nice looking bullet. I smell waffles. Like, I like Eddie Murphy, so I think he's like a really just naturally funny.
Okay. What is no? What I say? What kind of advice you will tell the next the next generation of stand-up comedians?
Yeah, yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, that's excellent. I think I would tell the individuals, to pursue their passion. Like, just pursue their passion, not to give up. Because and to believe in yourself. Like, you have to believe you're funny. Like, I know it sounds silly, but like, sometimes like if sometimes we allow the audiences, you know, but you never know what's going on in an audience. An audience might not have heard you with the sound, might be off, or they may be talking to their friends because sometimes it's more like a social get together. So sometimes we take that as they don't think I'm funny or whatever, but it's not always the case. So just don't allow the audience to determine, hey, okay, am I funny based? You have to believe you're funny. So I think anybody who's trying to pursue comedy should really just pursue their passion, never to give up, and to really believe they're funny. But also one more thing, it's okay, is to don't let a good show go to your head, like, but also don't let a bad show go to your head, like, because a good show you could say, wow, that was terrific, like I did a great job and everything went well, but then you get so content where you don't work harder to try to put on a better show. Like you get so content in saying, okay, I don't need to write anymore. I had a great show, and you just become content where you don't advance. But sometimes the bad show that, like I said, that could be based on the speakers were not working well, the audiences were, kind of texting, not paying attention, which happens. Sometimes they do that to the big comics too. They just, with social media, everybody's so caught up on their phones, even at the so just don't allow a bad show to get to you. Just keep going. And the most important thing is someone gave me advice. I was struggling, I was nervous, I was pacing back and forth. And one of the audience members say, hey, just have fun up there. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you gotta have, if you have fun. And I think that's really just something that's really important, is just have fun up there. And if you're having fun, the audience will feel that.
And one more question. Some of you has describe what is a one word you would describe yourself all over. How long have you been doing comedy for? One word.
Oh, so describe myself as what type of comic am I, or like what type of?
Um, no, means is what I said. What is one word to describe you? Like I am. Okay. I talk about one word after. I said after whole said and done. I am ready, ready, grateful. I got a awesome career like that.
Oh, okay, okay. So, but, um, but that's more than one word.
I know. I try to explain to you.
No, I apologize. So grateful, is that what you mean? Like maybe that's just saying grateful, like for in terms of like for my comedy career or my own life. Is that what you mean? Like my comedy, like what one word to describe my comedy career or my
Yeah.
life, or like um yeah, I think I would say blessed, because I feel like I enjoy trying to make my friends laugh. I don't always do that. I'm not always as funny as I would like to be,
Right.
but I'm very blessed to have that opportunity to I used to I performed in, like, nursing homes. I performed for fundraisers for, to help raise money for, so I was blessed to have the opportunity to kind of pursue a dream that I really had. I feel grateful to, and if at the end of the day, if I could make some people smile and I kind of forget about things for a little bit, um, it's just a nice opportunity to kind of, bring that joy, that to other people. And I'm very grateful to God for that opportunity, for my father and my mother, and like my family being just so supportive. And yeah, so I think that would be it.
Okay. I am. I am. I am. I am so grateful you take the time to have this interview with me today. I always, I always appreciate you. you are the big inspiration of me.
Oh, that's very kind, and I appreciate your time too. I'm a big fan of yours, and I appreciate that very much. It means a lot because it means a lot because I so that makes me hopefully uh, try to like because it's such an art form. Stand-up comedy is like when you make your friends laugh. That's one thing. Then you go on stage. It's like, oh, just where are my friends or where. But that's very kind of you. I can't thank you enough for also considering me to be on your show and your channel, and I appreciate that you saying that. That was very nice words. I appreciate that. I'm a big fan of yours too. So thank you, Jason, very much.
Man, this is, I say, what is the first person will you ever got your first interview with? Name and name. I say name. Name a channel you got your first ever interview with.
Jason Lugo, Shot Dreams.
That's it. That is an interview.